Welcome to my channel, all my haunted followers, and to all my new subscribers. Guys, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done so yet and you're watching this video, please like and subscribe down at the bottom. I upload videos every other Friday. Unfortunately, it used to be every Friday, but because of my new schedule, well, it just is not happening. Guys, Skinwalkers, the mysticals, the terrors of the woods. What are they? Well, these 5 supposed stories will maybe give you a little insight as to what these creatures are, because skinwalkers to me are quite freaky. Guys, as always, sit back and prepare to get scared. This happened to me many years ago when me and my little sister were outside playing. All of a sudden, we were sitting there playing in the sandbox when we heard our mother calling us from the woods. The weird part was that our mom was inside, but her voice was off. The only way I can describe it, or even to remember it was like as if somebody had recorded her. She called both of our names. That's when my little sister noticed something. It looked like our mom, but like a puppet. I'm not making this up. It looked like she was held on by something. That's when I noticed it. This creature. It looked like a deer, half man, half deer. I can only describe it that way. It was the most freaky looking thing I've ever seen. Both of us screamed and ran inside, where we found our mom in the kitchen. We tried explaining this to her and she didn't believe us, but that memory is so vivid, even though it was so many years ago. I'm sorry for the short story, but maybe, just maybe, it was a skinwalker. This story is as real as it gets, and what place, I still just don't understand. Back in 2016, I was on a camping trip with a few friends. We were having a really good time. We had been out there for a couple hours, I believe, if I remember correctly. It was around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. We had just started to get ready for bed. I was laying in my tent under my sheets, and I heard something outside of the tent. What sounded like, well, what I can only describe as my friend's voice calling my name. At first, I really thought it was him. I got up, opened my tent, and looked around, but didn't see anything. I laid back down, thinking that maybe he was still drunk and went off for a walk or something. I was laying there for about 5 minutes when I heard my name again, but there was something off. Like everyone in every other story, something was off about the voice, almost like it was recorded over something. It was scratchy. It was really weird. But then the voice went from that to this, well, I can only describe a very demonic-like voice calling my name. I tried to ignore it, but then I heard something walking outside my tent. Something big. Very big. I could hear its foot as it stomped on the ground. I walked around for a little bit, and then went back into the woods. That's when I heard a girl screaming for help. My first thought was that someone was actually in trouble, but it quickly dawned on me there was something weird about it. Something very weird. Everything in my head was telling me not to go, so I didn't. I really don't know if someone or something was calling my name, or if someone was being attacked. Either way, what everyone describes as a skinwalker, clearly that's what I thought I heard. I didn't see it, but I definitely heard it. And God forbid that I actually saw it, because I really don't think I'd be telling this story. Most stories are frightening because they're true, and I'm here to tell you about my story that I remember so vividly, even though I was 5 years old. My dad and my uncle loved the outdoors, and they were definitely the outdoorsmen. They decided one weekend that we were going to go camping. even at 5 years old, I was so excited. And that all changed. I remember so vividly, we had set up the tent and we were just hanging out, and I just kept getting this weird feeling that I was being watched. I kept telling my dad about this, and he just told me that it was because it was my first time out in the woods. But I knew something was out there watching me. It was until about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. My dad and my uncle were sleeping. I was having a hard time falling asleep, and I just again kept this weird feeling that something was out there. That's when I heard it. I heard my name being called. At first, I thought I was dreaming, or that my dad or my uncle were sleep talking, so to speak. But it was out in the distance. Being 5 years old, I was definitely curious. I don't know why I did this. I got out of the tent and looked out into the woods, the very dark woods, and I said, "Hello?" Andy. I freaked out. I ran back in my tent and woke my dad up. Of course, he didn't believe me until he heard it himself. Something calling my name. My dad grabbed his shotgun and went to the woods. I didn't hear my dad for a couple seconds. And then I heard 2 gunshots. My dad came running back saying that we needed to go. And my uncle didn't question this. We packed up the tent and made our way back to his truck and left that area. I never asked my dad because 20 years later, he ended up passing away, and I never got a chance to ask him, nor my uncle. I don't know what I saw or heard, but I really do think that whatever was out there was a skinwalker. I hear stories about younger people who have experiences and never us older guys, but I'm here to tell you that myself being in my late 50s have had many experiences. Being half Native American, I am fully and well welcome to the nature of, nature itself. And I have a little bit more understanding of these so-called skinwalkers. But I'm here to tell you a story that stands out to me, myself, and several other people, but me personally, because I think that this skinwalker was after me, and still might be. Back in 1998, I was on a expedition through North Dakota. My job was to find locations to cut trees. I was working for a very well-known logging company at the time. It was early in the morning, and I was by myself. I always have this weird feeling in the woods. I don't know if I just connect well with nature, but that day, something was definitely off. It was almost like nature itself was screaming for me to run away. I guess that's what I was feeling. I was again by myself, and I was there putting in flags, these white flags we use to park and mark locations, when I got this weird feeling something was behind me. I turned around, and I saw the most disgusting, most horrid-looking creature I've ever seen. At first, I thought it was just somebody in a costume. That's how horrible this thing looked. But I quickly realized that it wasn't. This thing had been watching me this entire time without making any noise. And the scary part was that it was sneaking up on me. To do what? I don't know. But I quickly yelled out at it, and I yelled at it in my native tongue. It looked at me and seemed to be angry because I started to pray. Pray to God that this thing walked away. It was almost like it hurt its ears or something because it screamed and ran away. But that was not the end of my encounter with this creature. Years and years go by, and I am still seeing this thing. In fact, just about a week ago, I was out in my backyard, and there it is again, watching me from a distance. I started to pray again, pray to God that this thing would just leave me alone. Again, it was almost like I was hurting its ears as it screamed and ran away. But praying just doesn't seem to be working. Although it works for the moment or the momentary, it still seems to be coming back. I don't know what this thing really wants from me, and I'm afraid to find out. I know that supposed stories of skinwalkers, they will hunt you until they have the opportunity to take you away, or take your life, or maybe even take you and take your skin. I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of it, because even though I'm Native American, my people refuse to talk about this. It's almost like it's a virus or a curse. Whatever it is, and whatever happens to me, just know that I did everything I could. Everything that I can at this moment. Thanks for sharing my story, and wish me luck. Pray for me. Because at some point, this thing is gonna win. Well, all my haunted followers, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video and those stories. You know, skinwalkers are becoming and they're still popular. And it amazes me that skinwalkers are so popular, being that we know so little about them. I think with any cryptozoological creature we do, but we know a little less about skinwalkers. And it's very frightening. I see that these are one of the creatures that seem to, well, they want us. They want to kill us. And there's been so many stories of people disappearing. And maybe that is because of skinwalkers. Guys, I got a few messages a couple of days ago really pointing to the future of my channel. And I can't put a direction as to what's going to happen really. And the reality is just the time. You know, I don't have all the time in the world to sit and edit videos. So maybe what I'll do eventually is look for someone who can start editing the videos for me and posting them. That'd be great. And obviously it'd be some type of pay in it. Not that much, because I'm not the richest man in the world. But let's see what happens. Again, you know, I'm going to do my best to record these videos and set them up every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's going to be 2.5 weeks. I will do my best to keep you informed. That's what I can say, guys. As always, like and subscribe, guys, and happy hauntings.